Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of The Daily here with Greg Lawless. I'm Nick Furshaw. The biggest story in North American soccer clearly this Wednesday morning, a historic result for the U.S. national team down in Mexico City from Tuesday night, a scoreless draw, Greg. They will certainly take that. Just the second time they've gotten a qualifying point down in Mexico, and they did it the hard way with some makeshift backline additions. Matt Besler from Sporting Kansas City, DeMarcus Beasley with an early yellow card. They're able to get through it, a 0-0 draw. They head back to the United States after the game in Mexico. What do we make of this result, though?
Well, I think that there are a couple things that you look at this. For one, this was the traditional American style, and people have talked about style in many ways and how Klinsmann has come in to try and change the style, but this was the American style. It was strong defensively, it was physical, it was looking for the counterattack if it was on. Even after the game, Chepo de la Torre, the manager from Mexico, said this defense was very, very hard to break down.
Well, some more on the back line. This is why we have Cory Gibbs, the former U.S. national teamer, on our staff here at MLSsoccer.com. He has some more feedback about how well they played down in Mexico City.
Thanks, guys. On a night for the U.S. men's national team to remember, they pulled off their second tie in World Cup qualifying history in Azteca due to three key factors: Omar Gonzalez, Brad Guzan, and Matt Besler. Despite the two center backs being inexperienced at the highest level, they were stellar all night long. They kept a good line, strong in the air, and stayed tuned in for 90 minutes. They prevented the likes of Giovanni Dos Santos and Chicharito and company from creating dangerous chances all night. If there were any questions about the U.S.'s defensive options in the past, they were answered in these last two matches. It'll be exciting to see how the U.S. do in the rest of qualifying. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Corey. And Greg, really quickly, take stock of where the U.S. national team sit now as opposed to, say, a week ago when they were in crisis mode about everything that Jurgen Klinsmann was doing. Two good results right in a row.
Yeah, very good results. And I think that all of that crisis, if you will, galvanized this team. I mean, we'll never know if that was what did it or not, but, you know, with the article in Sporting News last week, all of the talk around it, it brought this team together in some ways, and some more leadership came out. Clint Dempsey proved himself as a captain, I think, and Michael Bradley, of course, showed all of those leadership qualities that everyone expects that he has.
Other results in CONCACAF from Tuesday night: Panama with a win over Honduras and Costa Rica with a win over Jamaica. So Panama rockets to the top of the CONCACAF standings. You can catch those on MLSsoccer.com. As for the United States, they return to action in June. They're at Jamaica, then two straight home games. Up in Seattle against Panama and out at Rio Tinto Stadium against Honduras. You can catch the complete schedule on MLSsoccer.com. Switching to the CONCACAF Champions League, the Seattle Sounders back in action in the semifinals against Santos Laguna. They're at home on April 2nd up at CenturyLink Field. But they're going to play this one without Michael Gspurning, the veteran goalkeeper. The Sounders found out is suspended for this game because he picked up another yellow card for time wasting in the quarterfinals against Tigres. What's their option now?
Well, first of all, no one actually saw this yellow card. It was not broadcast on any TV, so a little bit of a surprise that this came about. But Seattle are in pretty good shape for this one. Don't forget, Marcus Hahnemann is the number 2. This guy is a former U.S. international, has all the experience in England, so I think they're in pretty good shape.
Again, April 2nd, the Seattle Sounders at home against Santos Laguna. MLSsoccer.com/CCL. Well, last but not least, seems like a spring ritual. The LA Galaxy at the White House in the nation's capital being honored for their 2012 MLS Cup championship. The difference this time around, no David Beckham, but Landon Donovan was back in the mix. This is for his first public appearance since MLS Cup last December. Didn't have much to say about that hiatus, but President Obama nonetheless honoring the Galaxy for another job well done.
Well, interestingly, actually the Galaxy there with the Kings, who are the Stanley Cup champions, so a lot of trophies going around to the White House from LA on this one. But regarding Landon Donovan, he's back with the Galaxy. He's not expected to play this weekend. They're in Toronto this weekend. So he is back with them, but and he is supposed to train today with the Galaxy, but he is not expected to play this weekend.
Well, you can find that story on MLSsoccer.com, as well as our traditional Wednesday features, including Anatomy of a Goal, breaking down one of the best goals from Week 4 in MLS, and March to the Match. The podcast is back, and they're going to be looking back at all the historic results down in Mexico for the U.S. national team. Make sure you log on, MLSsoccer.com. We'll be back with another edition of The Daily tomorrow.